Hello guys, how are you doing? I'm Tassos. Welcome again to my channel. Uh, it's a fine day outside. It's late in the afternoon, and yeah, it's hot, but not blazing hot like last time. I'm having my ice cold cocoa over here. Another fine beverage that I'm pretty sure the Englishman would like. But these top 10 list things, it's kind of the real me thing, so I won't bother. So today's top 10 list is for our beloved NES, one of the most, if not the most influential console of all times. And yeah, I don't like to sound absolute or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure that the NES, while it was around, had this really huge spotlight on it. You know, pretty much everyone knew what an NES was just by speaking the word, just saying the word video games. You immediately had this image of an NES and an NES controller back in the day. And even to this day, I'm pretty sure that lots of older people see consoles lying around and they're like, oh, is that a Nintendo? Yeah, we have that thing in Greece, kinda, but they only say Atari instead. Yes, different situation, different kind of growing up, and yeah, I've kinda talked about it before in another video, but yeah, that's a totally different topic. So today we're gonna be doing a top 10 list for NES games, and well, let's begin with number 10. Well, number 10 is Ghosts and Goblins by Capcom. And let me tell you, I'm not well in the head. I enjoy this game more than I should. It has its minuses, its drawbacks, definitely, but you know, first time I played it and tried to beat it was way after the 210s. And it was, when I bought the NES Classic, which it was a trip just owning that, just trying to buy that back in 2016. One of the reasons I bought it, it was because I wanted to proudly say that I beat Ghosts and Goblins on an original or on an NES or on a Nintendo endorsed product. So to feel that I did this like on something that resembled original hardware. Yeah, I'm insane. So yeah, I enjoyed playing this. I remember playing it day and night for an entire week and finally being able to beat it. And when the opportunity arose and I found a copy uh, on Facebook Marketplace of all places, I jumped on the occasion and I bought this. And yeah, I beat it again and again and again. But you know what? Even though this game is hard and it's also fun, it can also be a drag. So that kind of stops it from being higher on that list. So Ghosts and Goblins on number 10. So, number 9. Now, there is a game that not many people talk about, and I kind of feel sad. It's Faxanadu, or uh, I don't know exactly how are you supposed to spell that. Uh, it it was made by Hudson Soft, so there you go. If you want to make any connections, this is an action RPG game that it was totally worth its money. Like I remember vividly that I haven't paid for this more than 20 euros, and it took me like 4 straight years to beat it, and I didn't do it just by myself. I had a friend that helped me do that. It was an amazing experience. We took our time beating it, obviously, but we never, took the uh, the mobile phone and started searching every nook and cranny of the game through the internet. No, we tried ourselves to have progress, and from one point after, I remember that just having our password system was more than enough. It's an amazing experience. Uh, it feels satisfying progressing into this game. There's so many secrets. Uh, the NPCs don't try to fool you like a certain other game that looked like it. Yeah, Simon's Quest, I'm talking about you. No, this is an amazing game, an amazing RPG, action RPG, with lots of action, tons of monsters, lots of magic. Yeah, it has some glitches and some weird things going on here and there, but this is totally forgivable for me, and for the time that it came out, uh, major experience. Like if you jump into if you like that kind of stuff, that old kind of games, RPGs and stuff like that, I really suggest you should play that. So Faxanadu on number 9. So number 8. People might be confused, but I'll explain right away. It's Probotector. But yeah, if you've never heard this about this game ever before, if you're in the US and you don't know what I'm talking about, this is a Konami game. This is basically Contra. And why does it say Probotector and why does it show robots? Is because here in Europe we're stupid and we thought replacing the characters with robots made the game less violent. What? Anyway, I might be wrong about that, but I grew up in a different era, so yeah, whatever. This is a perfect side-scroller, shooter, platformer, everything, and a major game to play with your friends in co-op mode. It's one of those games that it's challenging, but I know many people that have beat it, and that's a true testament to how good this game is. It was NES hard, but not too unfair for people not to try again and again and again and feel like they're making progress. The stages look different. There's aliens towards the end of the game. Yeah, spoilers. And that's even more amazing. That makes the game even better. What am I talking about? Not just the end of the game. Stage 2, there's a giant alien as a boss fight. You have that. Wow. Amazing game. Top-notch action. I don't feel like I have to talk too much about that, but yeah. Probotector. It's basically Contra, so yeah. On number 8, we have Contra. So, number 7. This is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Alright? This is the perfect example of a sports game, of a puzzle game being dressed up as a sports game. Everybody knows Mike Tyson. This is a US copy. It works perfectly fine on my European system. It just goes a little bit slower. And it's so amazing going through all these fights because they have different kind of patterns and things that you need to watch out in order to beat them. Of course, the game is famous, or should I say infamous, for having one of the most difficult boss fights ever to have graced your system, or any system for that matter. But yeah, I've beat Mike Tyson before, and I even have a tutorial on how to do it. It's a little slowed down because it's a European system trying this one, but yeah, I still beat Mike Tyson. Yeah, I'm top notch. So yeah, on number 7 we have Mike Tyson's Punch Up. Now, another game that not many people talk about. This is Metal Storm by Irem. The copy that I'm holding in my hands right now is a re-release, an official re-release by Irem uh, in cahoots with Retrobit. It was published by Retrobit, and this is the original box it came in. It has a bunch of things in there. It's one of the best collector's items I have in my library, and I totally enjoyed this game, playing this game. Oh my god, the mechanics on this platformer are amazing. You use gravity, a changing of gravity. You manipulate gravity with a mecha. You go through stages that are super challenging. You shoot. You change your weaponry to fit, the kind of situation that you would like. Even though I remember finding a certain weapon much more powerful than others. Yeah, I might have mixed up a few things on that department. But yeah, it's been a while since the last time I played this. The boss fights are really nice, and the mechanic of you changing the gravity and going up and down has its use in the platforming action of this game. This is a phenomenal game. Not many people talk about it. I'd like to show you the color of the cartridge I chose. Look at that. Look at that. It's clear blue, man. It's clear blue. So yeah, Retrobit and limited run. Oh my god. We spent our entire wages there. Yeah, I'm kidding, but sometimes it feels like it. But yeah, anyway, Metal Storm, if you haven't played that thing, go ahead and play it. It's an amazing game. So, we go to number 5. And yeah, I'm kind of breaking the whole idea of you owning a copy of the game. And technically, Metal Storm is also a reproduction card, but it was officially released, published by Retrobit with Irem. Uh, and here I'm holding a reproduction card. I kind of feel bad about that, but you know what? These are really hard to come by in Europe, and they're really expensive. But still, this is one of my top favorite NES games, and I still play it on original hardware, so forgive me for doing that. This is Dracula's Curse for the NES, Castlevania 3. And yeah, it's an amazing game. It's super hard. I love it. Excellent music. I like going through these stages that feel they have that gothic style. sometimes I feel like the limited color palette of the NES complements games like that because it feels like watching a Hammer film. Hammer film. So, yeah, amazing controls. You play as Trevor Belmont, a forefather of Simon's, and you can also change into Alucard, Sypha, or Grant, depending the route you take in the game. And you can take multiple routes as forking paths in the game, which makes the game a really satisfying experience with different stages to explore and experience. It's a really long game for an NES game, I'll tell you that. At least for a platformer. And I don't like making these kind of comparisons, but some people try to tell us that you have two different characters to choose in Bloodlines for the Genesis. Here we have essentially four, and the game is much longer, and you actually do get to visit different kind of stages, which is not really the case on that other game. So yeah, if you're searching for a game that really does that, Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse was made for the NES in 1990. So yeah, whatever. So, moving on to number 4. Okay, on number 4, we have Mega Man 2 by Capcom. And lots of people are gonna get pissed. They're gonna be like, oh my god, number 3 is the best. No, number 3 is not the best. It's an excellent game, don't get me wrong, but I think the difficulty spike on this one is ridiculous. It's like it goes haywire in the beginning, and once you get the Robot Masters goes downhill like that. Forget about it. I'll take my overpowered Metal Blade on this game over anything. It actually feels like there's a normal escalation, if that's the right word, on difficulty in this game. And it's still a very enjoyable experience for me. Like, the music is top notch. Some of the better soundtracks are in this game. And number 3 has some really good bangers. But yeah, Mega Man 2 is probably the best in the first 6 games, from the bunch of the first 6 games that were made, with the Blue Bomber beating down some Robot Masters. So yeah, there's nothing you don't know about Mega Man that I could possibly tell you. You beat Robot Masters, you get their powers, you move on to different stages, you can use some of the powers you acquire for either platforming or beating certain enemies. The mechanic is so simple, yet so satisfying, super addictive game, and yeah, I don't really have to say many things about this one. So number 4, deservingly so, Mega Man 2. So now we reach the top 3. Number 3. Seriously, this is one of the most ambitious games I've ever experienced. This is Metroid on the NES, obviously, duh. And let me tell you, I love this game. I love Metroid. I love it with a passion. Sometimes I even hate it. Sometimes I even have these explosions where where the fuck am I supposed to go now? But yeah, Metroid, the original Metroid, a super ambitious project. I don't know how they came up with the idea of having a game like that on the NES, but at the time it came out, I don't really know if there were other games like it. Um, yeah, not many. I can think of one that came out somewhere around the same time, but yeah, we'll get to that. Epic foreshadowing. But anyways, uh, one thing that I really enjoy about this is the exploration part of the game, which is basically a huge part. It's everything is about almost everything is about exploration in this one. Not too much about you being able to outsmart certain enemies or find a certain pattern versus a boss. No, it's mostly about you trying to upgrade, explore, find more weapons, and get more powerful. In order to get more powerful, uh, so that you can basically clear the entire thing. And I remember the first time I played this on emulator, I had downloaded this and another game. I can't say which was that because, yeah, I can't right now. And I remember picking this one first without any guidebooks, without anything. In a matter of 15 minutes, I was cursing. I was burning hot, even though it was uh, winter, in the middle of the winter, and I was so freaking pissed because I didn't know where I was going. Every room felt the same. The color palette limitations didn't help that much either, and I didn't have any map. So what did I do later on? I just downloaded a PDF that on my phone where I could see exactly where you could go, and that changed the whole experience for me. So yeah, an excellent game, super ambitious project. It could have been even higher on the list if it wasn't for these drawbacks that didn't quite help the exploration part with you not having a map in the game and actually needing an entire guidebook to know what you're doing. But yeah, Metroid totally deserves a top 10 spot, especially the third one. So, number 2. Yeah, not beating around the bush. It's Super Mario Bros. 3. And let me tell you what, when I said to myself it's time to pick the cartridges for this video, I just stood right next to my library. I looked at the cartridges, and when I saw Super Mario Bros. 3, I picked it up right away, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way this can't make it in the top 10. But when I was perfectly certain which cartridges I needed, I was like, yeah, which spot does it deserve? The more I looked into the games and started thinking clearly, the more I realized that this game is made the perfect kind of way. It has the lesser issues of any other game in the list. I'll tell you that. It's almost perfect. It's like they worked so hard on that. The power-ups are amazing. The platforming is fun. The music is fun. The stages, they're considered cliche today, having a desert stage, an ice stage, and all that, or a lava stage. But back in the day, it was awesome, and still is to this day. I like the ship stages, the boss fights. Everything about this game just screams perfection. And I just couldn't help thinking that I enjoyed even more than Super Mario World. Uh, yeah, it was not hard to get it on the top 5, and later on I realized, well, it deserves the number 2 spots. It has the lesser issues of any other game in the list. I have to do it. So, Super Mario Bros. 3, I might sound mainstream, but let's be fair, the game is amazing. So before we jump on the number one spot, let's have some honorable mentions over here. First of all, we have Ghostbusters 2, New Ghostbusters 2, not to be confused with that atrocious game you got on in the US. This is only for the European systems, and yeah, made by HAL Laboratory. This is a phenomenal game, and you need to check this out. Of course, Kirbys Adventure is an honorable mention. One of the later NES games. Really nice graphics, really nice way to relax while playing NES, which is something that I usually don't think about. You know, when I switch on the NES, I think, yeah, let's play some Ninja Gaiden and beat our asses, which is a game I don't own, and that's maybe for the best because that would make my top 10 selection even harder. So then we have an obscure game by Capcom named Trojan. A game that I used to beat in a matter of 10 minutes or 12, 13 minutes or something like that. It's side to scroller, side 2D side scroller action at its best, arcade feel, Mad Max setting, and all that. Really great game. Then we have Batman, the video game by Sunsoft. I don't really have to tell you how hard and beautiful this game is, and some of the better soundtracks by Sunsoft in this game. Wow, just wow. And then Double Dragon, the first one. Which really influenced an entire genre. Yeah, amazing game. I don't even have to talk more about that. So, on number one spot, the Golden Medal. deservingly so, goes to none other. Come on. Come on, you golden beauty. Get out of here. Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda, the original one. The one that started it all. Oh my goodness. When I got my hands on this cartridge, because let me tell you, it took me a while, I felt so complete. This is one of the two Zelda games that I ever completed in my lifetime. I have played plenty. I have played Majora's Mask a little. I have played Ocarina of Time a lot. I have played Twilight Princess, the remastered version on the Wii a lot, and I think I'm really far ahead. I'm far into the game. The only two that I've actually beat are this one and Link to the Past on the Game Boy and the remastered version on Switch. But yeah, this is an amazing game. That was the other game that I tried when I first tried to beat Metroid. The second game that I picked along with it to try and play it was this one. And I started off with Metroid because I thought, well, Metroid is not as cryptic. Little did I know that Zelda was a lot easier to get into. Without any guidebooks, I went through 2 or 3 dungeons, I think, and it actually had a map. Even though it seemed like too basic, it did have a map. Yes, even the cryptic stuff in this game are amazing. It feels so satisfying going through the game. This is pure magic. I don't even have to talk about it. This is one of the 2 occasions, by the way, that I can think of a game having the same soundtrack from the very beginning to the very end. One of them being Super Mario Brothers, the first one, and the other one is this one, that plays the same soundtrack all over from the very beginning to the very end, and I just can't get bored of it. Like the map overview, well, before you get into the dungeons, has that same music, but I love it. So great action. Everything started from here, and deservingly so. This is the number 1 game on my list. Yeah. So basically, that was it. That was a list for my top 10 NES games of all time. Obviously, they're games that I own, and I will most certainly love to hear your own experiences and what you think about that list. Should I change anything? But yeah, then again, I might not own the games that you would suggest, or might not even play those. But yeah, that's a top 10 list. I hope you enjoyed it. I most certainly did. I'll see you next time, where I think we're gonna talk about the Nintendo Game Boy eventually, but I'm kind of holding on to it for a little bit because I think I need more time to do a video about that. But nice talking to you guys again. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.